The year is 2013. You just got home from school, you load up Black Ops 2 into your console, and as you settle in with your controller, you're greeted with this iconic sound.
Oh! Hey, quiet on that side now, isn't it, boy? Listen to you fat fuck.
No, not that one, not that one. This one. I mean, do I really need to say anymore? This sound represents a time when the thrill of dominating on Nuketown was the highlight of your evenings. You jump into a lobby, adrenaline pumping, ready to drop 50 plus kills every game, only to get mowed down by a kid using Target Finder on an LSAT. The sweet chaos of Black Ops 2. It was a time of countless all-nighters trying to complete all the Easter eggs in transit, battling it out on unforgettable maps, and experiencing that undeniable sense of accomplishment every time you hit a new prestige. And of course, we can't forget the endless hours spent making the worst abominations your Mountain Dew poison mind could come up with in the custom emblem editor. I seriously don't know what Treyarch was thinking when they let a bunch of prepubescent drop-shotting 13-year-olds make their own emblems, but I absolutely loved it. Fast forward to today, and here we are on the brink of Black Ops 6 being released. So the question I have is, can it rekindle that same magic that made classic CODs like Black Ops 2 so enjoyable? To answer this, I want to look at a few of the key major changes that we know about coming in Black Ops 6 and see if it has the potential to bring back the golden days of Call of Duty, or if it's just going to be another year of disappointment. In a lot of the videos and articles they've released so far, they've put a huge emphasis on the new movement mechanics and the new 9-zone hitbox mechanics that they've added to the character models. It's going to be changing the way the death animations play out depending on how the target was hit. It's also assumed that it's going to have an impact on the damage done based on which hitbox zone the damage is registered in. The changes that they've made to movement so far that they've told us about are a part of what they call the omni movement system. It's going to allow you to sprint, slide, and dive in any direction, forward, sideways, backward. It's supposed to create a more fluent movement experience. The design aims to enhance maneuverability, and it's going to allow us to chain our actions seamlessly. To me, this raises the question about whether these changes might be an aid to lesser skilled and new players, or another advantage to the elite players that snort a line of G Fuel before every match. No hate, fellas, but you know who you are. Now, we all know that movement has kind of been a back and forth issue over the last few COD titles. Things get better, then they get worse, then they get better, and then they get worse. And it always seems like one side of the community loves the current movement and the other side of the community hates the current movement. Now, the difference in movement between Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 2 is that Black Ops 2 really didn't have to do anything new. Aside from bringing back dolphin diving again, there weren't really any changes to the movement, nor was there a need for it because of the time period that the game came out. Black Ops 6, on the other hand, is in a different position where movement has been such a polarizing subject over the last few titles, so there is a sort of pressure from the community on the developers to get it right. And honestly, if any of the dev teams had to change the movement mechanics, I think Treyarch would be the one I would pick. They've never shied away from making changes in the franchise, although it hasn't always been for the best. They are the team responsible for a good chunk of COD's most iconic titles and beloved changes over the years. I'm looking at you, Pig 10. Boy, do I miss you. So now that we've gotten movement out of the way, let's talk about one of the areas Treyarch did make major changes in during Black Ops 2's development, and that's map design. When it came to making the maps in Black Ops 2, Treyarch really engaged with the player community throughout the development. They actively sought input and wanted some ideas for map design elements. They gathered insights on what players both enjoyed and found frustrating in previous titles, and they had the feedback from Black Ops 1 and the Modern Warfare titles, so they focused on eliminating frustrating elements, things like overly complex map layouts or areas that favored camping. If only this would have happened in Ghosts. They aimed to create maps that encouraged movement and engagement rather than stalling the gameplay, and of course you had the classic 3-lane map design. That made it really easy to navigate, and it made it also really easy to learn a good majority of the maps. That structure also ensured that the encounters felt pretty dynamic and balanced. allowing for a lot of flanking opportunities and head-on engagements that further facilitated that fast-paced gameplay they were looking for. Many of the maps also had a lot of verticality to them, which added a lot of diversity in the potential gunfights you could get into. Add all these elements together and drop the maps in a bunch of diverse environments, and you've got the magic map making formula that existed in Black Ops 2. Well, mostly. There's always going to be one or two bad maps. I'm looking at you, Aftermath. In order to make this formula work in Black Ops 6 and force us all to fall in love with the maps, Treyarch really needs to make the community a huge part of the decision-making process again. Especially with the new movement mechanics being introduced, they really need to test this out and hear from all sorts of average Joes and content creators alike to see what the community wants. This is a new step in the franchise that we're about to take, so I think it would be really important for them to do that. They need to focus on balanced map design as well, ensuring that maps are well structured for competitive play, with clear lanes and opportunities for various playstyles. If they can't get anything else right, please, please, please at least drop the maps in some great locations. The game is taking place in the 90s, so there's a lot of potential there. They could have us blasting each other in a giant Blockbuster or a Radio Shack or even a McDonald's with a ball pit. I mean, let's get creative here. The point is, if they want to make the maps great again, they need to take a page out of the Black Ops 2 playbook and use the magic map formula. That's listening to the community, simple 3-lane designs, a little bit of verticality, and a McDonald's ball pit. Look, all I'm saying is everyone would be happy. So far, for Black Ops 6, we know that there will be 16 brand new 6v6 maps and 4 strike maps for 2v2 and 6v6 alike. So good news if those game modes are your thing or if you like a bunch of chaos. So far, we also know that the majority of the maps will be focused on the core 3-lane design according to what they've said. So between the updated mechanics and the apparent return to simple map design again, it sounds like as far as Treyarch is concerned, they're taking a step in the right direction. This will be easier to get a feel for soon when the open beta drops on August 30th. But to wrap things up on the confirmed changes for multiplayer, some other notable features that I wanted to touch on that are being added to the multiplayer is the return of theater mode. That's going to grant us the ability to go back and watch full gameplay from matches again. I really loved being able to do this in Black Ops 2. And a brand new HUD customization feature is going to be added. It's going to allow us to move things around on our screen, like the mini map, the ammo count, health indicators, things like that. It's a very simple change. Honestly, I think it's a really good quality of life one. And the last thing is there's also going to be the ability to put 8 attachments on your gun depending on what wildcard you select. We've come a long way from Bling Pro, fellas. 8 attachments? Come on. So that's everything multiplayer related that Activision/Treyarch has been very quick and eager to tell us about, but what's everyone's favorite topic that hasn't been brought up by them? You guessed it, skill-based matchmaking. I mean, did you really think we could get through a COD video without talking about SBMM? Apparently, there's a ton of research that it keeps players engaged longer, but it's been the major reason I haven't spent a lot of time on the last few CODs. I know, just get good, you say. Well, I can't. My thumbs don't move like they used to. Just ask your mom.
What?
I don't think that matchmaking in COD can ever really go back to the golden days as long as SBMM is present. I feel like no matter how great the game is or how good the gunplay and movement feels, none of it's going to matter if you aren't regularly enjoying the matches you're put in. Gone are the days of making a rival in a lobby and staying to play against them for 10 plus matches in a row. Nowadays, if you do good in one lobby, you can expect to get shipped directly to another one where you're going to get destroyed within the next couple of matches. To me, it just feels like the player base is being milked for everything we have to offer. Between SBMM trying to make us play more by pulling some fancy psychology tricks, and paying full price for a game that also has a seasonal battle pass. Seriously, a lot has changed since that horse armor DLC. Thanks, Bethesda.
It just works.
Truthfully, I don't mind if SBMM exists, but could it at least be in a ranked mode so that the casual mode is, casual? But with the trend of SBMM in the past few titles, it's safe to say it's not going anywhere. The only way I ever see it going away is if games like X-Defiant, that have purposely made it a selling point to exclude it, start to gain a foothold in the FPS scene, but that's a topic for a whole separate video, so stay tuned. I could go on and on about skill-based matchmaking, but let's move on to what will hopefully be a more optimistic topic for this year's COD, and that's zombies. This year's zombie mode is once again in the hands of the team that created it, and is widely accepted as the best dev team to ever do it. In order to Mizga, though, Treyarch needs to return to their roots, and so far it seems like that's what they're trying to do. We're going to see a return to round-based zombie modes with 2 brand new maps in the base game, Terminus and Liberty Falls. From what I dug up online, it seems like Liberty Falls is a state park in Alaska that has some really gorgeous scenery, so I'm really excited to see what Treyarch tries to do with that. The movement is also going to be included in zombies, and the new hit registration zones are also going to be applied to the zombies as well. So if the damage is going to be applied as well, that's going to be pretty cool to see, I think. The devs are saying that the new maps will have returning features and new power-ups along with hidden secrets and Easter eggs throughout them for players to discover, so more of the classic stuff we've already come to expect. Right now, a lot of the major features are being kept under wraps by Treyarch, but we are obviously expected to learn more as we get closer to launch, so I think it's too early to tell if the changes coming to zombies will fully make it like the magic of Black Ops 2, but they will really have to bring their A game on this one for that to happen. Black Ops 2 is the game that gave us great zombie experiences like Transit, Mob of the Dead, just to name 2. I mean, how could you not love being able to store your favorite gun in a fridge on a farm or stashing money in the bank downtown? Don't even get me started on the OG bus driver. He's the one I really want to thank.
See if I don't crash this bus and kill you all.
Point is, Black Ops 6 in my eyes has a lot to live up to and will have to really amaze me as far as zombies goes in order for it to equal up to what Black Ops 2 did. And finally, we have to talk about the campaign. So I have not enjoyed the last few campaigns whatsoever. That's just me personally. And so far, all we know about Black Ops 6 is that it's taking place in the 90s, involves a major conspiracy with the CIA, and has a lot of historical context. So the storyline could branch into a few interesting directions. We're going to see the return of some of the classic characters and the return of Adler, so obviously what he did in Cold War, his evil ending, is now fully canon. Looking at the trailer and everything we know about the campaign, it does give me some of the same hype that I felt for Black Ops 2, so far at least. That's also because I really do like that time period, so might be a little bit biased. But in order to be anywhere near as good, they're going to have to expand on some of the things that Black Ops 2 did right and what other CODs have tried to replicate over the years. They're going to have to continue to give us multiple endings, I think. I think that's a staple now for their campaigns, for Treyarch at least, and I really do love to see that, and I want to see it again, but in a good way. I want the story missions to not, you know, be various reskin wars on maps with random objectives that don't really flow together. I know that Modern Warfare had a lower development time, but still, that was terrible. Anyways, what I liked a lot about Black Ops 2 campaign and what's garnered it so much praise over the years is the memorable missions and the dual timeline they did. They did such a great job exploring both timelines in the story by slowly putting all the puzzle pieces together through each mission. Of course, you had your stereotypical over-the-top action moments we've come to love and expect from a COD campaign, but the great storytelling is what really made this one stand out for me. They also added a lot of new elements to the campaign. They added the strike zone missions, and they gave you the option to create a custom class or change your loadout before you started a campaign mission. I really like the way they did it in Black Ops 2. It was pretty simple. You got to choose your guns, your equipment, and you could pick out like 1 or 2 attachments, and then you would pick out 1 perk. The perk I always picked was the access kit, giving you the option to explore extra parts of the map during the mission. I feel like the past couple of Call of Duties have gone over the top with the loadout before you start the campaign. I don't know, I just kind of prefer the simple feel to it over what we're seeing currently. I'm really hoping that Black Ops 6's campaign will be a step in the right direction. I feel like it's been a long time since we had a very solid Call of Duty campaign. I did enjoy Cold Wars, but it still didn't fully scratch an itch for me. Black Ops 2, going back and playing that, I still love it to this day. I love being able to make all the different choices in it. They were simple choices, but they still had a really good impact. So I really feel like that would be the key for them to take it back to the roots and try to recapture that magic that Black Ops 2 had, is simplify some of the things that they do, but make them a little bit more impactful. That's everything that I really wanted to touch on that we know about Black Ops 6 so far. There's a lot more information, so I'll link some of the trailers and the article that I used online when I was doing the research so that you guys can look and go through anything else you want to find. But I really do think that Black Ops 6 has a lot of potential, but I think Treyarch really does need to lean on the community and listen to what a lot of people have to say. If they could ever somehow get rid of skill-based matchmaking, I do think that would play a huge part too, because when you think about it, there really wasn't that much of a thing in Black Ops 2. I mean, you would get stomped in one lobby and then you would be dominated in another. It was pretty back and forth, and I think that's what really that's really probably a big part of what made Black Ops 2 so special and fun, is you never knew what you were going to get.
Those must be comfortable shoes.
But this game has had the longest development time that we've seen in a Call of Duty over the past few years, so hopefully some of the aspects that we talked about today will be made a priority, but we'll see upon release. I think we would get a lot more insight in August when the open beta drops, and I'm excited to give it a try. Seems like the hype train has officially started for this year's COD, and Treyarch seems poised to bring back some of the magic that made Black Ops 2 an unforgettable experience. But there are significant challenges ahead, and the community's expectations seem like they're higher than ever, so we'll see. Time will tell if Black Ops 6 is too good to be true, or if it will live up to the hype. But let me know, what are you guys' thoughts on the future for Black Ops 6, and just COD as a whole? Do you agree with any of my opinions, and does Black Ops 6 have the potential to bring back the golden days of Call of Duty? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications on future content. Stay tuned for a few more in-depth analysis and discussions about the upcoming gaming landscape. Got a few FPS things and a few other ideas coming. So thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe.